Let's get into it, though. Let's start with Broncos at the Saints. This game may be bad, but also, Scotty, you have this as one of your best bets of the week. Broncos, it's actually 2.5 now. You have the spread here at 3. It's now changed to 2.5. Total 37, which I think might be 36.5 now. So that's dropped a little bit. But Denver minus 142 on the money line and New Orleans plus 120 on the money line just to win this game outright. You have this as your best bet. I had to jump on it myself. I was looking around at I sent you 3 of my best bets, and I was like, I'm riding these best bets, and I needed one more, and I had some overs, I had some unders, I had some different things, and I just kept coming back to this Denver New Orleans game. And even before you sent this, I was like, I think I might have to go Denver minus 2.5 in this game. You picked that as well. There's just it's hard for me not to in this one, Scotty. Denver is my best bet of the week. One of them, minus 2.5. And there's just a lot of reasons why I just had to come back to this one. The New Orleans Saints are just a mess in a lot of different ways. They have a ton of injuries. Chris Olave, you obviously have Derek Carr out, Rashid Shaheed, Pete Werner, Cesar Ruiz. All of them are just banged up or missing. No, I mean, they're just missing a ton of people. Saints are playing their 3rd game in 11 days, which is crazy. Also, in addition, Saints tallied 27 points in Spencer Rattler's debut on Sunday. We talked a lot about, hey, they put up some points, but 2 of those 3 touchdowns were on a punt return and a 10-yard drive. So he barely exceeded a 50% completion rate, 2 interceptions, along with 5 sacks. Denver Broncos defense is missing one of their best players in Surtain, but they still can get after the quarterback here. Denver Nuggets have covered all 3 of their games on the road, all 3 of their road games, winning 2 of them. They won 2 out of those 3, but they covered all of them. Saints have lost 4 straight to teams like the Eagles, Falcons, Chiefs, and Bucks, but now we're just battered and injured. So it just the Denver D ranked 4th overall, tied for 2nd in touchdowns allowed. Saints, I just don't see how they see the end zone very much in this game. Maybe they get some points, but I just don't believe in Spencer Rattler. So I'm riding with it, Scotty. I'm riding with you. Denver minus 2.5. It seems like too good to be true. I can't hear you. Hold on. Still no. It's an Apple thing.
I got it.
Yeah.
I got it. Good. My bad.
Well, now you're banned.
Get him out of here.
Get him out.
Now I lost my train of thought. Yeah, like if you, after watching Denver so far this season, despite being 3-3, if you like the idea of me betting on them when they're a favorite on the road is almost like
it's crazy.
0% chance. That's how bad of a situation this is in New Orleans for New Orleans this week. Short week, you talked about it, 3rd game in 11 days. That usually goes terribly for any team, even when they're healthy. This team's not close to healthy. You talked about all the injuries to Carr. They're number 1 and number 2 with Rashid Shaheed and Chris Olave out. I mean, Taysom Hill's out, which would help, alleviate some of the stuff Spencer Rattler has to at least do. Alvin Kamara is questionable. Colin Sanders, who had that sweet pick and rumble last week on the Monday night, questionable. Like, a lineman is out. Cesar Ruiz, another lineman, Lucas Patrick is questionable. Like, there's nobody left. This feels like, you remember during COVID when the QB room for the Broncos couldn't play, and it was against the Saints, and they had to play.
Yeah.
I forgot whatever that guy. Kendall Hinton.
Kendall Hinton.
This feels like the opposite of that. Like, it feels like the Saints are having to roll out Kendall Hinton, essentially, and that's all they have.
Yeah.
Like, just every position.
He's gonna throw
Every
the ball
position
and
Kendall
catch
Hinton's
it
gonna
as
play.
well. Yeah. It's
They're so beat up, and yeah, the Broncos are without their best player in Pat Surtain, but otherwise relatively healthy. It's just a really good spot. You have obviously a revenge factor.
yeah.
with
I didn't mention that.
Peyton going back and playing his former team for
He-
the first time.
The team will want to
And
play
maybe-
this one.
Yeah, but like, there's probably a reason he retired. He's probably bitter towards them for something. Because let's be honest, Sean Payton's an asshole. So like, there's definitely something at play there. Like, he's just not a kind individual, a good person. But beyond that, I don't know if he's a great football coach or not. He coaches football. Yeah, I mean, this is solely based off of more the New Orleans side of it than anything. I mean, if the Broncos don't win this game, you might as well just punt on not just this year, but maybe the next 3 seasons. Just forfeit all your games moving forward. And if they blow out the Saints, like, I don't even know if I'd give them credit for it, because it's like they're playing almost a college football. They're almost playing the CU Buffs, except they don't have the Buffs' talent at quarterback or wide receiver.
Yeah.
No Travis Hunter, no Shadur Sanders.
Yeah, I mean, players want to win the game for Peyton, knowing he's going back to his home. There's also, I think, Drew Brees ended up pushing off.
Oh, is he coming back?
He might.
Oh.
No, he pushed off. He wants to have. They're having a ceremony for him, I think, during this game, if I'm not mistaken. And he wanted to make sure his coach Sean Payton was there, so they will be doing some sort of thing for Drew Brees during this game, for like some sort of announcement.
If he's gonna be there, might as well suit him up.
Suit him up. Maybe can we put him in a Broncos jersey? He would be way more fun to watch. Keep close, obviously, in the chat is telling you
Bo Nix
why Bo Nick is worse than all the worst things in the world. I'll read one of them. Bo Nix is worse than the airline losing your golf bag on a trip, which you also packed the majority of your clothes into for wearing. So
yeah, that's not a great situation. Yeah, Chris, what if the quarterback you drafted in the first round of the draft, what if his college goes on and wins a national championship the year after he left? That'd be neat.
that'd be neat. I don't know how I'd feel. I mean, it doesn't. I'm more concerned about whether or not he's ever going to develop, and that's kind of like what I'm more concerned of over anything else. So, anyways, we both love Denver Broncos in this spot.
No, that was not. I got an Amber Alert, and I thought it might be
I
for
lit.
Bo Nix's arm.
I got an Amber Alert as well, and it's not for Bo Nix's arm. It's the same
No.
Amber Alert. So,
Okay.
it's it might be.
Not that one either. Not that one either.
Pat Surtain, obviously, yeah, not playing in this one.
Sandra Mendoza.
Shout out.
Hope they find her. I don't.
Have you seen
She's
what?
all right over there?
What?
Bruh.
I mean, of course, she's a 13-year-old female. So
No, it's not. Yeah, yeah.
situation.
I hope she gets found for sure. In all seriousness, it's yeah.
I think people believe you, Chris. I don't think we're hoping.
No,
everyone's
no.
hoping for that.
I mean, have you seen that stand-up comedian who was like, I can't remember who, maybe it was an obscure one, but he was like, what to expect, like when you get an Amber Alert, like what people expect you to do. It's like drop everything and like go outside into your car looking for the vehicle, like that. It's like, oh, Grace it in. Let's go searching the town for this Grace it in, and I am putting everything else aside. It's like, I don't know. There's like a bit with it. I don't know. But shout out to
I
Amber.
don't really know what to do. I'm just like, nope, don't see him.
Did I just say shout out to Amber Alerts? Shout out to Amber Alerts.
Things are spiraling. I might need to do a code yellow, aka
I'm in support
walk my
of
back
finding
pain off.
missing children. I'm supporting finding missing children. That's all I'm saying.
I don't. It's a little shocking that we have to say that, isn't everybody?
In this society, you never know how people are going to take what we say.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? This is cancel culture, and meanwhile, we're dropping viewership. So it's cool.
Yeah.
Let's get to the
Stick to sports.
Let's get to the next game.
Chris.
Let's get to the next game.
Who?
Game
No,
of the
that's not even the
year.
game of the week. What are we talking about? What are we? The Super Bowl rematch is not the game of the week. Why? Why? Because there's not going to be any good defense in this game. Is that what you mean?
No, because the Niners were hurt. Honestly, the Chiefs should probably take that without, unless they
Without
keep doing what
who?
the Chiefs have been doing.
What do you mean? The Chiefs have more injury issues than the Niners?
Don't worry, we'll
it's
get
gonna
to
be
it.
a rough
We'll
game
get to
then.
it.
What are we talking about, Rec? I gotta walk it off. I'll be back.
By the way,
Lions Vikings.
keep close now.
Wait, you guys can hear Rec? I haven't been able to hear him at all. No wonder it's been quiet.
Lucky you, dog.
Lucky.
I know.
My man.
Can chat hear me?
Nah, fuck them kids. Don't get lost. True. No. Just.
I'm making a
Bruh.
joke.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
I'm
bad.
making
That's a bad one. No.
Take it easy over there.
Sports and entertainment, guys. Sports and entertainment.
Hey, I just want to let you know the Avs still have not let up a goal.
Let's
And they're at 5 minutes
go.
and 12 seconds. However, your Mets are down 7-0.
all right, Lions and Vikings. Let's get into this one here.
I have a best bet in this game.
Ooh, okay, all right. Best bet.
One thing y'all always love to talk about: the game after an emotional game. And for multiple reasons, the Lions played a very emotional game last week. On one hand, there's the emotions of getting revenge on the Cowboys, which you saw with all the trolling they did with the offensive linemen. And they got emotional on the other end when Aiden Hutchinson went down. The emotions were running high. They pretty much got everything out. Vikings, meanwhile, had a bye week. Minnesota takes it. I got them -2.5 at home.
Okay, -2.5 for the Minnesota Vikings for Rec. Yeah. So, by the way, let's get to -2.5 is Minnesota's favorite at home against the Detroit Lions in this one. Now, over under set at 50. Let's see if that's still where it's at the moment. I believe, and actually, this dropped to 1.5. So, Rec, you could get a better number here at 1.5.
Yeah.
You might as well take the Minnesota Vikings at 1.5 because the money's coming in accordingly. So over under set at 50.5. The money line is +108 for the Detroit Lions, -126 for the Minnesota Vikings. By the way, Scotty, Rec's best bet of the week is Minnesota -2.5 based off of all the emotions coming out of Detroit. I am almost on the other side if I was leaning. I feel like
Isn't this one of your bets?
no, it's not.
I can't keep track. You listed like 37 bets to me in the Slack. I was like, I don't know if you can bet that many. I mean, you can.
I can
You
if I
just gotta
wanted
pick
to.
4 for our stream, you know.
Yeah, no, this was one of those. If I had a bet in this one, it would be teasing up the Lions to. Now it's 1.5. The spread is shifted, so I would tease the Lions up to +7.5. I think everyone's putting a ton of stock into the Aiden Hutchinson injury. I know the Minnesota Vikings at home after coming off a bye week is big, which is why I think everything points to Minnesota being the team that you should take Minnesota Vikings are 2-0 after their bye week. Kevin O'Connell is good at like coming out of the bye week, and he's been doing some good things as of late. It seems weird to me, and I just don't think that Detroit's that bad of a team. Like, I think that they can make up. It's tough to make up for Aiden Hutchinson. You can't replace him, obviously, but Detroit overall is a pretty good team. And I think they're obviously a team that I think is going to go far into the playoffs. I think there's a lot of hype and a lot of momentum going Minnesota's way that Detroit's not a bad team here. And
real quick, Chris, you're talking about how everything is like looking Minnesota's way and everyone's putting too much stock into the Hutchinson injury. You literally just mentioned that the line dropped to 1.5, which means money's coming in on Detroit.
yeah, and I think that that's still where I would lean, as opposed to the Vikings. But I don't know. It's going to be, again, if I were to put a bet on this one, I would tease up the Lions because I think that they're going to be competitive in this game. I think this is just going to be a fun game to watch. I don't know if it's going to be a team that I don't want to sweat it out. But you got a controlled environment. Jared Goff is great in controlled environments. And if this were outdoors, it would be a different story. But I think the Lions can come in here and keep up with the Minnesota Vikings, if not win this game outright.
If I had to lean in this one, oh gosh, do I have to say it?
Yes.
I would lean to Rex side as well. I think Detroit put a lot of stock and emotion and into last week's win against Dallas. They had some. I mean, I don't know if it's the coach's vendetta or the players do too. After last year's like controversial game, like it seemed a little like too much emphasis was put on that. So I worry about how they bounce back. I know this is a big game, but you have a Vikings team coming off a bye, rested, can plan and prep for Detroit, has a great home field advantage. Jay Jetta's gonna be healthy. Like I would lean Minnesota based off situation. If this was like in the playoffs or something, I'd probably say Detroit would be the likely team I would pick. But in a regular season matchup, better situation with the Vikings off a bye and Detroit pouring everything into last week's game, I kind of lean Minnesota in this spot.
Anything else, Doc? You want to throw in anything on this one?
Doc's left.
Oh, he gone.
Doc left the building.
He gone.
Do we send out a no? Too soon.
No.
Bruh.
No.
Don't do it.
I was gonna say something when I returned from the bathroom as well.
Oh,
I'm here.
I was gonna say, oh, good, we don't have to send it out. Okay.
No, I had to run downstairs. The dog was going to throw up on the carpet, so I had to.
Sure. No, that makes sense. I thought you were like me. When I left, I went and checked outside to make sure.
Jeez.
On that, I got you.
Shut.
No, I went to check to make sure that Colorado didn't open another goal.
Yeah, I don't think it probably wouldn't make sense for you to be checking. You probably didn't get the alert.
No,
I'm a little far away.
But
anyways,
to be clear, I didn't find her.
You were asking me for,
do I need to take my code yellow? Now I feel like I'm not pulling my weight. Now I feel like it's.
What an asshole, Chris.
Oh my gosh. Let's just.
Yeah, and then she sits here and
Sandra,
stares at me and acts like there wasn't
Sandra,
anything.
if you or someone you're with is watching us and you can hear us right now, blink twice.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my.
When these streams go downhill, they go downhill hard.
But you were
I'm
asking.
sober
Oh
tonight. I don't
no.
even know.
There is no slow
So going
rolling.
back to sports.
Okay, Chris, what's the next game? Let's go.
Oh my goodness. Let's get to it. Texans and Packers.
Nobody clip that.
Yeah, someone's gonna clip that.
And If we have any viewers left, maybe.
Yeah, I think we're
Anybody still with
dropping.
us?
We're dropping. We got like 6 people now. It's a 9 or something. Here we are. This is the life we live. All right, let's get into it. Texans at the Packers.
Could
We
be
got
game of the week, Chris.
this might
Could be game of the year.
This might be a fantastic game. Game of the Green Bay -2.5 in this one. Over under total set at 47.5. And yeah, this one has it's interesting. Houston +120 on the money line. Green Bay -142. This is still sitting at 2.5. Green Bay -115 on the favorite end. And this is also one of my best bets of the week. I mean, between this might be one of the best quarterback matchups of the week. Jordan Love versus CJ Stroud. I think the Texans are going to miss Nico Collins in this one. I think this one's going to be Packers are ranked in the top 10 in the league in EPA per play on both sides of the ball. I think they're getting healthier as the season's been going on, and then obviously Jordan Love, after missing the time early in the season, has been getting up to speed. So I love the fact that they're in this spot and they're at home. Texans, on the other hand, 16th offensive EPA per play, and I think that declines with playing outdoors and Nico Collins missing this game. So I think that's a big thing here. Matt LaFleur, 28-16 against the spread at home. Jordan Love has covered 6 of his last 8, including the playoffs. The Packers have covered 7 of their last 11 at home since the start of 2023. So it's just a lot of this screams Green Bay should be in a good spot to win this game. Love has at least 2 touchdown passes in 8 straight games. What's great is we talked about this on the last stream. He spreads the ball around. He's been spreading the ball around, which is hard to defend. Houston defense 28th in red zone, have faced mostly bad and very raw quarterbacks. So this just screams Green Bay Packers, which is why I have Green Bay -2.5 in this game. I think the Houston Texans come back down to earth, and the Packers take care of business at home with a good home field advantage.
As it's all of a sudden it's 4-1.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'm looking at this.
Yeah,
Another
they gave
one.
up a power play goal and then
13 seconds.
a blunder in the defensive zone, and Boston
Here we
put it
go.
in. It was
Here
a
we go.
it was a weird shot. He was screened by 4 people, and it just hit it upper right 4-1.
Just
He's
can't.
screened when no one's in front of him.
Although it's essentially not playing.
So he's down to a 7.89 goals against average. So there you go.
Gosh,
If
man.
you were playing the Maple Leafs, you'd win this game easily.
Ugh.
4-1
this is-
deficit.
It's brutal, man. What are we doing?
Well, it's also brutal when you're getting outshot 19-7. Your offense is doing nothing to help him.
Bad.
we might just be bad. Anyway, Texans at Packers. I tend to agree with you on this one, Chris. I like your bet as well. It was not one of my bets of the week, but I like it. I think Texans may be slightly overvalued right now. While they've won some games, haven't always looked good doing it. I mean, we've kind of talked about that on prior streams, where like I expect by the end of the season the Texans to be playing really good football, and they're 5-1 right now. But I don't know if I've come away overly impressed. I mean, they have some good wins. They beat the Bills. They beat a Bears team that we'll see if the Bears are for real or not, but they are 4-2. Whereas to be honest, the Packers haven't necessarily beat some good teams, but they got wins with, obviously Jordan Love missed a couple games and they were able to grind out wins. I think their defense is leaps and bounds better. I think the offense is getting into rhythm now that Jordan Love's been back a little bit. As you talked about, spreading the ball around. No Nico Collins for the Texans is, I think, a pretty massive loss for Houston on that side of the ball. In Green Bay, outdoors, we're starting to get into later and later of the year where, like, weather's going to start getting worse and worse. I haven't looked at the weather for this game, but, like, probably going to be a factor for some, in some respects. So, I'm with you. If you can get it at 2.5 still, I think in some spots it might have moved to 3, but If you can still get in 2.5, I'd pull the trigger on that because I think Green Bay wins this game.
Yeah. I mean, you also got to remember that is he? I can't tell if he's talking. Is he talking?
Mm-mm.
Okay. They also got to remember that the Texans are very bad in early down success rates. They're 31st, only ahead of and they're only ahead of only the Browns. So that coupled with Laramie Tunzel possibly being out with his ankle injury. I just think that this is one of those games. No Nico Collins. I do think that 2.5, you can get that. I would grab that up.
Yeah, that it's still 2.5. This is your opportunity, guys. I love it. I love it. Everyone else is joining in on this one. Rec, anything to add?
Honestly, I'm not touching this game at all because I'm still like obviously the Texans are a good team, but like I guess I'm just waiting for like are they gonna like stop underachieving and really show like what we expected out of them? Like there's always just that lingering feeling that one of these days it's gonna happen and they don't know if and when.
Probably not going to be the week where Nico's out.
Yeah.
His
It
best
would be
friend.
funny if it was.
Yeah. So there you go. Texans Packers should be a good game. I mean, I'm super excited to watch this one. So I think it'll live up to the expectations here. All right, let's get to it. Your boys, Scotty. Your boys.
Game of the century.
Game of the millennium. Chiefs at 49ers. San Francisco minus what? This is the weirdest line, by the way. The San Francisco 49ers at home favored by 1.5 in this one. But Chiefs plus 1.5 underdogs on the road. Total at 47.5 now. It ticked up a little bit. KC plus 102 on the money line. San Francisco minus 122 to win this game outright. Scotty, this is one of your best bets of the week, and I also have this as part of one of my best bets of the week in a different scenario.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm mostly going off trends here. The big, well, couple
The biggest
big ones
one
here.
is obvious.
Well, there's two big ones, but Mahomes has been an underdog, I think 16, 17 games, 17 maybe in his career. He's 13-3-1, I think, against the spread in those 17 games. So he absolutely dominates and wins outright in a lot of those matchups. So you have that factor. You have the factor of coming off a bye, and we all know the history
Andy
of
Reid.
Andy Reid coming off a bye week and how.
Do you know what it is?
Not off the top of my head.
21-4.
21
Pretty
and
good.
4
Pretty good.
with a bye week. I imagine
I
that
scored.
includes like Super Bowls. Yeah, I saw that. Avs cutting it to 4-2. Let's go. But yeah, and listen, the Chiefs kind of have the Niners number. Like even the last time they played, I don't know if it was last year or 2 years ago. It might have been 2 years ago in the regular season at San Fran. I think the Chiefs in that game put up like 40 some.
They put up a
and
shit
just,
ton of points.
went to town on them. I have nerves because obviously the 49ers, like, you gotta imagine really, really want this game to kind of get that like monkey off their back of just not being able to defeat Kansas City. But both teams, obviously the Chiefs injuries we kind of know about with the wide receivers and running back being out, but Niners are beat up too. Defensive line's got some injuries, with especially at the tackle spot. Malik Collins was a DNP today. Juwan Jennings, a wide receiver, was a DNP, although they did activate Ricky Pearsall. Shout out to the dude who got shot in his practice window. We'll see if he plays this week.
My man.
The practice window was at least open, so he's practicing for the first time this week. So they got a couple injuries. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey's still out.
They might be down to their
Jordan
third
Mason-
string safety too.
Jordan Mason, yeah, they have some safety issues. And Jordan Mason was limited in practice, coming off that shoulder injury last Thursday night against Seattle. But I have a feeling he'll probably play. But I guess I don't don't know that for sure, but yeah, should be a fun game to watch. It's a second afternoon game. It's an afternoon game, not a primetime spot. The networks must have really wanted this one and didn't want to push it to primetime, so we get the lovely Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday night instead. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. See if the Chiefs can get to 6-0. It's not going to be easy. I think this is definitely the best defense the 49ers have faced all year in KC. So I'm looking forward to it. But I got the Chiefs plus 1.5 as one of my bets of the week.
I have that. I mean, it's not my official bet for this week in this context for our super contest. However, it is part of my best bets in my pick six competition. And I love Kansas City in this game. Andy Reid, again, coming off the bye. You mentioned all the numbers off the bye. Insane. Chiefs are just a healthier team coming out of the bye. They give a few extra days of rest. 49ers played last Thursday. So, they're, kind of getting back into the swing of another game. And here's the thing. All right, so the Chiefs are rarely underdogs. Let's just say they get down in this game at any point. Do we really? That's the spot where we have just know that they come back and just win games. It's just, even if the 49ers get a lead in this game, I still feel good that the Chiefs are somehow going to find a way to come back and win this game, because that's where Patrick Mahomes performs the best. It's hard for me to go against that. So that being said, for all the reasons you said and the reasons that I am jumping on here, I just teased up the Kansas City Chiefs. So I teased them up. Got a good number here, 7.5, and I'm teasing that also with another game we're talking about later. I'll just tell you with Buffalo. Buffalo is the other team that I'm going to be teasing down to 2.5, and we'll get to. Are we talking about that game tonight? I can't remember.
It is not.
All right.
The ones we're gonna preview.
It's not. So I'll just say that Buffalo is the other game that I'll be talking about. They're playing Tennessee, the lowly Tennessee Titans at home. Tennessee not going to be able to do much. I feel on the road. The fact that you have Will Levis on the road, 5 touchdowns, 7 interceptions going against the Buffalo Bills, who we know are a pretty good team. Also, Buffalo Bills making a move here this past week. I think they got,
Murray Cooper.
Murray Cooper from the Cleveland Browns. So he will be also adding to the firepower that the Buffalo Bills have been needing. So that being said, I'm teasing the Kansas City Chiefs up to plus 7.5, and the Buffalo Bills down to minus 2.5 as one of my best bets.
Yeah, and as you talked about, the Chiefs just this season have trailed in 4 of their 5 games, and they're 5-0.
Yeah.
So it's not a foreign or uncomfortable position, obviously, for the Chiefs to be trailing. He almost kind of likes it, and it's a lot of time. To be honest, I think Mahomes plays better on the road than he does at home. He likes being a villain.
Yeah. The opposing crowd amps him up, and again, if I see the there's not too many teams in the league where you look at and you just look at them going down early in a game and you're like, oh no, I don't think we're going to be able to get back into this game. I never say that about the Kansas City Chiefs. So I love the peace of mind of that bet as well. So just feel good about, even if they get down, there's a pretty good probability the Chiefs win that game. All right. So Chiefs Niners.
Try explaining that to my son, who just uses his mind to third down at any point.
By the way, Scotty.
Yeah.
Mahomes is 25-8-1 against the spread, which is 76% in games where he closes as an underdog or favorite of 3 or fewer points. So there you go.
Yep. And I think it's 13-3-1 as just an underdog
Correct.
in general. So
correct.
Crushes it.
Crushes.
In the big games, he comes up in the biggest moments.
Yeah, it's hard to bet against him, honestly. All right, let's get to the next one. Jets at Steelers. This game has turned into one of the more fascinating games of the week. Not necessarily maybe not intriguing. is the right word for it, because you
You
have
got some storylines.
you got storylines all over the place. You have a reunion, Scotty, because Aaron Rodgers wasn't pulling any strings to make this happen, right? But we got Mr. Devontae Adams, little reunion, New York. Meanwhile, the Pittsburgh Steelers have been winning some games. They've been doing some nice things. But they have Russ coming in. They have some things happening there. They're shifting gears, which I know Rec is a big fan of. But New York Jets -1.5 in this one as favorites. Total at 38. Let's see if the numbers are still sitting around that. It's still, -1.5, 38.5 actually for the total now.
It's climbing.
And then we have the -122 for the Jets, +102 for the Pittsburgh Steelers, both on the money line to win the game straight up. I obviously we always defer in this one. Let's weld. Yes, Sergeant. Let's weld.
Let's weld, I guess.
I guess. Yes. TikTok inside joke.
Or if you're Deshaun Elliott, let's bomb.
Let's bomb.
I'll
I
go
guess.
first so I can let Rec have the floor.
Okay, yeah. Rec's gonna go crazy on this one, but go ahead,
Yeah, so
Steelers fans.
Let me go quick here.
Talk
So basically,
Talk
Yeah,
off the
right.
ledge.
right. Limit Rodgers, especially if Adams plays. You're going to have to shut that down. And then you got to worry about Brees Hall. I think besides that, I think you just play straightforward. We're at home. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers comes into town, but it's not like we, haven't seen him before. I just think this is a game where we have to win. Like we talked about, the second half of the schedule does us no favors. I personally don't think we should start Russ this game, just for the simple fact of that defense of the Jets up front with the O-line that we have, that, Russ isn't as mobile as Fields is, and Fields has shown that his legs have been very productive for us with the amount of rushing touchdowns he's had this year. I just think pulling the trigger this week would be an error, not because I don't have faith in Russ, but just because of the fact that you're going to need a quarterback that's a little bit more mobile against that front four of the Jets. But besides that, I think we have a pretty decent opportunity here to win another low scorer and just get out and go 5-2 and going on to week 8.
Yeah, you look at the offensive line. You've got 2 starters on season-ending injured reserve, Fartanu and James Daniels. Zach Frazier, who's been an absolute monster at center this year, out with an ankle injury. I mean, at least the backup doesn't have to go against anybody. Oh, wait, Quinnen Williams. Yep, that's going to be a problem. I mean, Ryan McCollum did good last week, but it was the Raiders. I don't know how much stock I put into that. It's like you could say what you want about Fields, but again, like Doc said, like his legs give you a much better chance to win because he can escape these pockets. Like he's been really good, like not over relying on his legs, but using them whenever the pocket does break down. I don't understand why Tomlin's so enamored with Russell Wilson. I really don't get it.
Is he bought? Is he bought into like?
what?
I mean, he kind of. It feels like that promise before the season started. Like, hey, like we want to sign you. We want to bring you in. You're our guy. Once you're healthy. Kind of like he made the promise. He's a veteran guy. He's an old school guy. He loves his vets. I feel like he's just trying to live up to that. And I don't know if it's the right call.
Yeah, for better or worse, like Tomlin is a very stubborn coach.
He's loyal.
He's very stubborn. Like he always sticks to his gut, for better or worse, usually worse. But again, it's just like you're defying all logic here. Now, it's really funny. One of the reasons Tomlin loved Russell Wilson before training camp, Russell was going to be the guy to come in, play conservatively, take care of the football, and give the team a chance to win, which is exactly what Justin Fields has done. He's thrown 1 interception this season. Sure, you could count 2 with the one that got taken back by penalty last week. And if you do two interceptions in 6 weeks, that's amazing, especially for a guy that's had turnover issues. Like, yeah, do you want to see more out of Fields? Yeah, of course you do. But at the end of the day, what does Russell Wilson do that gives you a better chance to win as opposed to what Justin Fields has done over the last 6 weeks?
All right, you guys want me to let you know why you should be rejoicing from the high heavens right now?
I'm kind of with you on this one too.
It has nothing to do with Russ and everything to do with Fields, but not because you could be very well right. The Fields is the better option in this game, could be the better option for the season. One, let's see what Russ has. I don't expect Russ to. Russ isn't going to cook, okay?
Nope.
Probably going to struggle. Not the player he was, but Justin Fields, in my honest opinion, has played below average as far as a quarterback. In my opinion, that's just my opinion. I know you're 4-2, but it's fool's gold with Justin Fields. So here's where I'm sure Tomlin's not doing this, but maybe this is why he's doing it. Because what happens if you leave Justin Fields in? You get the same quarterback play from Justin Fields this season. You somehow go 11-5. Like, your defense balls out. You win close games, you win turnover battle, things like that, and you go 11-5. Do you really? How hard is it then to just let Justin Fields walk in the offseason? But at the same time, do you really want to pay big money to Justin Fields to be your quarterback of the future? I don't think so. I think you're saving yourselves if Russ plays the rest of the season, because it probably won't be Russ either.
Ooh, political move.
Committing your financial future to a quarterback in Justin Fields based off of team success this year, that I think would be a massive mistake if you're the Steelers.
Well, let me ask you this, Scotty. In the way that the Steelers offense has gone, you take a look at having a quarterback that can scramble and run. Look at how many rushing touchdowns that Fields has this year. Yes, it takes away from Najee. Yes, it took away from everybody else in the run game. But having a quarterback that's mobile in the pocket, I don't need him to be an above-average quarterback. We're 4-2. I just need him to win football games. That's what he signed for. Yeah,
game manager.
Yeah, guys that go out there. Yeah, exactly what I've said before. Even with Kenny Pickett, I've said it before and I'll say it again. With the defense that we have, I just need a game manager. I just need a guy that goes out, doesn't turn the ball over, does a spectacular play here or there, or scores a touchdown, does what he's supposed to do, doesn't turn the ball over. He has not turned the ball over very much this season. We're 4-2. You have an opportunity to go up against a defense where you could have a quarterback. You could do the RPO with Fields and Harris or even Warren or whatever. And then you still have Muth. You still have Pickens. You still have Calvin Austin. There's been flashes of him as well. The things are still coming together. I just think that against the Jets, with what's going on, with everything with the season that has been packed into this, that having Fields there gives you a better threat than having Wilson, regardless of if Wilson does good or not. I just think right now and this week versus the Jets, having Fields behind center will give you a better opportunity, just because of not only the way that the season has gone, but based off the fact of the second half of the season. If we go, because we also have the Commanders after the Jets to the Giants, we have the Commanders. So that's not an easy game either now.
Offensively, it will be.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Their defense is terrible.
Right. But that's assuming that you think our offense can even put up that many points. I'm just saying we put up enough against the Raiders, but let's be honest. Look at how those points were scored.
Cheers to drinking for your boys.
Right.
Yeah.
So just know that total is going to be the amount of alcohol that's going to be consumed
Yeah.
between if Russ starts, just for the simple fact that I just feel like with this game and the intangibles, Scotty, I just feel like being able to have your quarterback, the escapability, the run game, and even Sargent said it in the chat, their run game wasn't very good against the Bills. So why not utilize that with a quarterback, with the running back committee that we have? Najee actually had a really good game last week. Build off that and go in there against the Jets and run the ball down their throats, get that line tired, and just get in and get out. Put the hard hat on, do smash football, run the football down their throats, and get out with not an easy dub, but a dub that is like a 13-10 game. We don't put a lot of points up on offense. Honestly, it's just going to be one of those games.
The under is live. The under is live. I mean, Russell.
The under is.
I mean, Russell Wilson
live.
you got what, a less mobile quarterback in Russ. Behind what string is your center? Third string?
Or, yeah, third string. Nate Herbig, except for his
So-
season-ending injury in training camp.
So how does
so.
I mean how does that affect the run game? I don't know. I mean I don't know. It's Scotty. This is actually one of your best bets, I think, which is why I think you're trying to talk people off the edge here.
Well, I'm talking off the ledge long term because I don't think long term you should be interested in Justin Fields being your quarterback. I don't
Now-
think he has it. Now,
quick question.
Yes.
With the quarterbacks available in free agency and in the draft, what should the Steelers do in what should the Steelers do at quarterback?
We'll see
Like,
what
what are you
happens
gonna
in
do?
free agency.
Trade all of your assets to move up and get Quinn Ewers? Like the free agency sucks. The draft class sucks.
All right.
Like,
See how it goes when you're paying Justin Fields like $40 million a year. Then your roster sucks.
We won't be paying him $40 million a year. I'll tell you that right now.
You
There will be
hope
no way.
you hope
Someone
not.
very.
It won't.
I think Daniel Jones is making $40 million a year.
It won't. Danny's closer to the 35, but yeah, he's not. We wouldn't do that. He's
right,
he
35.
would have to.
Potatoes,
he would have to
potatoes.
show us.
Tomatoes,
Well,
tomatoes.
I'm just saying he would have to show us a hell of a lot more than what he's doing to get a contract in the 40 million range.
Okay, so that's also called, but he's going to be a free agent, so he can just work.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
Listen,
I'm just saying.
for all this, he's been great at getting away from pressure. He's tied for the third most sack yardage in the NFL thus far. Only worse than him, I think, is like Deshaun Watson and Caleb Williams, the rookie in Chicago.
yeah, our line is that bad.
yeah, Andrews
Well,
having
but
terrible.
here's the thing. Here's what's interesting about it. He's only been sacked 16 times for 124 yards. So when he gets sacked, it's him trying to create and move around, and he almost makes the situation worse because he goes.
that doesn't happen that
And
often
I'm not-
either.
Well,
Like
I'm
it
just-
happened in that Colts game, but usually it's just like a play action. Fields turns around on a deep drop, and there's a guy in his face immediately. Like there's some like little flea flicker play we tried to
Yeah,
run
I mean,
against
it's
the
every game
Raiders.
is 2, 4, 3, so it's consistent.
Yeah,
So listen, do I think Russ is going to have those same issues and have some poor decision and get sacked too? Yeah, I do. I watched him in Denver, and he's going to have those same issues. But listen, I'm just not a Justin Fields future guy. So that's of my opinion. So like,
Right.
not
Yeah,
starting
absolutely.
him is. We'll see what Russ. I mean, maybe this is a weird week to do it, but.
yeah,
Another question is was that Deshaun Elliott post like real?
yes,
real?
Yeah, that
it was real.
that
What
was
an idiot. And by the way, Justin Fields
Ugh.
liking it. What the
Yeah,
fuck,
and then-
dude? You
And
can't.
then
You can't.
Nick Herbig laughing in the comments as well.
You can't.
can't
You
do that,
can't
bro.
like that if
And what's
you're
really
Justin
funny, Deshaun
Fields.
Elliott would was like, I don't know why people are upset. I just thought it was funny. Like you can't say that. You backtrack on the field, not
No.
off.
No, and
That was rough.
that's not
In
a
case-
good look for.
In
the locker
case
room.
you guys don't know, there was a social media post that we shared in our Discord. Shout out to our Discord. Join our Discord if you. We share memes, we share news, we share weird things. There you go. That's the Discord link in the chat. There was a link of coach. I mean, Rec. As much as you hate your head coach, even you're like, damn, that's bad. Like,
Yeah. It's definitely a very rough look.
there's just
But I will say
yeah.
this, like every time I like the whole like is Tomlin right or wrong. Ever since training camp, everyone in the building wants Fields. The Steelers want Fields. Tomlin wants Wilson.
Yeah. So
Look, this is this is a team like the players rally around Justin Fields. Like this feels like Justin Fields' team. Does he put up the stats? No. At the end of the day, like this is a team where like players want to play for Fields. It's his team, and you're taking him away just because Tomlin loves seniority and veteran leadership and whatever, and he doesn't like changing his mind ever.
Let's wait and see what happens because Fields has had a lot of bad moments. So I don't know. I don't know what Russ will do in this offense, but I know Fields, from a passing standpoint, like
It's going to be
I
dumped
think
down.
Fryermuth is your second leading wide receiver this year, and he's averaging like 30 yards a game.
Yeah. I would say the receiving core has been significantly worse than expected. It wasn't even expected to be great. Like the Steelers. Like honestly, I'm kind of panicking if I'm the GM because right now the two teams that are looking for receivers, Steelers and the Chiefs. So now we have to bid against y'all,
I don't
and
know how
the
aggressive
top
we're
two
gonna
options
be.
are gone.
I don't know
That
how
worries
aggressive
me.
we're gonna be.
you
Although I
got.
did hear a rumor that we're interested in Mike Williams, which I'm like, I don't love that.
Yeah.
Don't worry. You know who I would like the Chiefs to go after more than anybody is Deontay Johnson. So like, of who's out there.
I made that joke
That
last.
would be a dynamic threat for
I
you
made that
guys.
comment
think
last year.
that-
You're
I
like,
think
hell
that
no.
getting him would be great.
No, well, I think we have guys who can play well against zone defense. We need a man beater, and Deontay Johnson's a man beater. So I
Deontay
think he'd
Johnson
be a
was-
nice piece for us, but we'll see what happens. I don't
Yeah.
know
Also-
how aggressive the
also,
Chiefs are going to be.
I like
I
Sergeant in
don't think you
retro.
guys will be bidding against us on that one.
Yeah, we can't. We physically. Sergeant in retro.
Not
What are they
allowed.
teaching at
Yeah.
William and Mary? Because if you don't, because every time there's a Steelers Bills game, they talk about how Tom and McDermott are close. And you remember the McDermott speech that came out like last year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You got that, and you got Osama bin Tomlin. Like, yeah.
I just know I made sure I restocked. That's all I'm happy.
Oh my goodness.
Restock for Sunday night. Let's go. And we haven't talked about the Jets, but yeah, they're all of a sudden
They got Devontae Adams.
Which
comes over to a 1-2 of him and Garrett Wilson. Obviously, pretty damn good.
it's one of the better 1-2
And it
punches.
sounds like
Yeah.
Devontae's
He didn't want to
gonna
play us in a Raiders uniform, so play us in a Jets uniform.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
he somehow now that he's been traded, Mr. Miyagi came in and
It's
healed
the
him. and
James
he's ready to go.
Harden, the James Harden syndrome, where he's fat and then he loses like 100 pounds on the way to his next gig and he's healthy. That's what.
Yeah.
that
So we'll
Miracle.
see.
Yeah.
He's healed.
He's
We'll
healed.
see what that combination looks like. I wouldn't really. Good for him for liking Aaron Rodgers. You know what the difference is between like an Aaron Rodgers and Pat Mahomes? Case in point, do you remember last year when MVS dropped it was the Eagles like Monday night game, dropped an easy long touchdown that would have likely won the Chiefs the football game. That was not a difficult catch and right in his hands on a deep ball. And after the game in the presser, Mahomes said, I got to be better. I got to put that in a better spot so he doesn't end up dropping that. Like, I got to make a better throw. What did Rodgers say in his presser after the interception on the last drive when he threw it to Mike Williams? He said, yeah, Mike Williams ran the wrong route.
RELAX.
He puts it all on his teammate Mike Williams. And listen, that's probably true. Mike Williams probably ran the wrong route. He was supposed to get to the red line outside the numbers. Didn't run what he was supposed to run. But listen, Mahomes threw a great ball to MVS, but he's not going to throw his teammates under the bus where Rodgers is just ready to be like, yeah, he fucked up.
Rodgers.
What do you want me to say?
Rodgers is I don't know if the locker room can ever recover after the Rodgers like media, what he says after games, what he says about his teammate. Like, how do you not take that personally? You know what I'm saying? Like,
And especially
and it sounds like Mike Williams is very much on the trade
On the
wire.
way out.
Yeah, it sounds like he's
Yeah.
gonna get moved.
They picked up
can't hurt,
Adams.
no pun intended, to bring him to Pittsburgh. I mean, what do you got
Yeah.
to lose at this point?
But again,
He
you
hasn't
look
been
at the Jets. Again, you bring in Adams.
That's why
You
I said,
have
what do you
Garrett
got to lose?
Wilson. You bring in Garrett Wilson. You have Alan Lazard, who, again, Rodgers' friend doesn't want him to leave. Williams is the odd man out.
Yeah, and he'll probably be moved, and probably he wants to be moved at this point.
It
He
was
just got
was
thrown
the
on the
bre-
bus, and now he's number 4 wideout.
was the breakfast sandwich worth it? Please tell me someone gets the reference.
I'm still
Nobody.
I'm still questioning why. I mean, we've talked about this game for like 45 minutes. I feel like, of course.
Real quick, yeah, on the Jets though, real quick, like Devontae Adams, the trade for him makes a ton of sense. I don't think it's going to move the needle that much for the Jets. Do I think they're going to end up being a true contender for a Super Bowl? No. But what are they going to do? They have to put all their chips in the middle. Like, they don't have a lot. Time is not on their side here.
No.
Rodgers could retire after this year, like, and it would not surprise anybody.
Then they're back to square one. Who's their quarterback after that? You know,
Exactly. Justin Fields.
Bring back Joe Flacco.
I mean, Joe
Might
Flacco.
not be a bad call.
I mean, honestly, he's gonna. Joe Flacco's gonna be those like he's gonna have a robotic arm and cast for a leg, and he's still gonna be out there throwing touchdowns. It's weird.
His mind is going to be placed in a Tesla robot.
Don't get me started on Tesla robots.
Oh no!
Which,
no.
hey, I found out. I found out, by the way, those Tesla robots. You were right, Scotty. They were not. We were all deceived. They were controlled remotely by someone real. It's true. It's all. Yeah, it was. You were right. It was too good to be true.
You know, I don't. My only question is, like, I think conversationally for sure, and maybe some movements, but like the bartender, how does the person know for sure they're grabbing at the right depth remotely? You know, like to move. I don't know. I don't know how you do all that, but I also don't know how to make a robot.
Practice.
So,
You mean the robot fans of the Rams games?
Yes.
Rams have robot fans? Is that how they do it?
they're all robot fans.
The Rays
in a
could.
way.
The Rays could use some of those.
The Chargers just want someone in the seat
Yeah.
that's not a fan of the other team.
Yeah, or someone besides that one Asian lady
Yeah, she's
that
still
went
there.
viral.
Is she? Well,
I don't know.
wasn't she a fan of like every single team? Like she was like she had jerseys on for all the teams, and she was trying to make content, and I don't know, something like that. I don't know.
I don't remember.
Anyways,
You really went down a
Anyways.
rabbit hole with her.
I did.
Bruh.
I do.
Oh boy.
All right, let's get to the last game of the night here. Seahawks and Falcons here in this one. Seahawks visiting Atlanta. Atlanta 2.5-point favorites at home in this one. Over under total set to 51 in this one. So there's this is actually 51.5 now. And the spread's moved to 3. So luckily, I got a good number on this as one of my best bets. Seattle plus 130 on the money line. Atlanta minus 155 to win the game straight up. Yeah, I'll just start with this one. This is tough. This is that Seahawks in a 10 a.m. Pacific start. It doesn't go well. We've seen the downtrend of the Seattle Seahawks over the last 3 weeks. Two opposite ways of 3-game winning streaks. One is on a 3-game winning streak, and one is on a 3-game losing streak.
11 days.
And it's just a tough spot. Seahawks struggle to stop the run. That plays right into Atlanta's hands with Bijan and Tyler Algier. Plenty of play action for Kirk Cousins. Falcons offense seems to have found its scoring stride with 26 points in 3 straight games. So I think they're in a good spot here. Just two teams go in two opposite directions. Plus, Atlanta's our team this year, Scotty. The Atlanta Falcons are
ATL Lab.
the ATL Lab is in full effect. Let's go. Seahawks secondary decimated by injuries. Seattle has no interceptions since week 1 against my boy Bo Nix. Is he my boy? I don't know. But he's and they've given up.
Let's go.
Let's go, I guess. And has given up 8 touchdown passes in the past 3 games. So the Atlanta Falcons are going to take advantage of that. Falcons balanced offense, averaging 6 yards per play, 7th in the NFL. That number is at 2.5. It was trending towards 3. It finally got to 3. Week 5, Falcons threw for 500 yards. Week 6, they rushed for 198. They're just finding ways, one way or another, to put up yardage on the.
One way or another.
They're gonna find you. They're gonna get you.
One way or another.
Yeah. Geno, I think, is going to struggle here. Falcons have won 3 straight, going 2-1 against the spread in that process. Yeah, it's just this leans Falcons for me. This is why Atlanta is my best bet at -2.5 here against the Seahawks in this game, Scotty.
Yeah. I mean, what I expect here is I also have a bet in this one, but not on a team, but on both teams to score a lot of points, Chris.
Yeah.
You know, you have a Seattle team that you talked about being beat up in the secondary, haven't played very well on defensively since probably playing Bo Nix, Chris. Weird how that works.
Bruh.
And the Falcons defense lacks. They tried to make a move for a pass rusher. It hasn't really worked out. Thank you.
All right.
For the raid.
Thank you, Keep Close.
What's up?
Hey, you tried. I appreciate that, Keep Close. Thank you so much. Thank you. Hope
We'll
you had a
take
great
each and every
stream.
one, unless it's you, Keep Close, and then you can leave. No, I'm just kidding.
Can you go support?
Dang.
I'm joking. We love Keep Close here. I'm joking.
Can you go follow Keep Close and go give him some love? He's a great community member, and he's one of our OGs. Make sure you go give him a follow. He streams every so often as well. So thank you. Hopefully you had a great stream. Unsub. Hashtag. Come on, man. All right, keep going.
Yeah. So you have, two not great defenses. The Atlanta offense is finally starting to find their stride with Kirk Cousins. He's getting more and more comfortable. In the dome, gonna be a comfortable setting. No defense in this one. I expect, actually, Seattle, I think, is leading the NFL in yards passing per game. So while they haven't been successful recently as far as on the win-loss column, they are, at least trying to come from behind, slinging it around, and they've left some points on the field, to be honest. Like they left some on that Thursday night against San Fran due to either penalties or a toe out of bounds, or things like that in the end zone. So, yeah, I love this game to be a back and forth, zero defense matchup, and I like the over in this one.
Yeah, I think that's pretty spot on. Anybody else want to chime in on that one?
Yeah, I got one thing. So I was reading this. Geno Smith is actually, when he has a clean pocket, is ranked 6th in passing grades and adjusted completion rate from a clean pocket this season. Atlanta is just 27th in the pass rush win rate. So I think if that means that Geno has time, I think that this is a game that Seattle comes in and can win. But it's all about the trenches in this one. If Atlanta can decimate that line, then I think it's Atlanta's game to win. But I have Seattle in this just for the pure fact that I think that Geno is going to have more time than he has in the last few matchups that he's had. I think he's going to have more to work with. I think that it's going to be a high-scoring game, kind of like one of those where who has the ball last wins kind of things. But I'm going to take the Seahawks at +3.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough spot, though. Again, it's that 10 a.m. Pacific start, which doesn't bode well for teams coming from the West Coast, especially the Seahawks here in this one. That with all the injuries, with all the mismatches of the Seahawks struggling to stop the run, and that's what the Atlanta Hawks want to do. I just think that's going to be a tough. I mean, that's a lot of uphill battle. Again, 26 points in 3 straight games for the Falcons. They're hitting their stride right now. So it's hard for me to discount a lot of those factors. But I see where you're coming from, though. I see some of that.
Just join
one
the
more
side, guys.
one more thing that I didn't say and I forgot was Kenneth Walker. If he can successfully run the ball against the team, this Atlanta team has been really bad against the early run. They're 27th in allowing the most yards on rushing early, and the early down rushing success rate. Sorry, that's what I was trying to get at. I almost had a stroke. That puts him as one of the highest graded runners according to that metric. So if he can run and run well early, that sets the table up for not only him but for Geno Smith in that pocket. So that's the statistics here go back and forth with both. But like you said, there's no defense. So again, this goes to the last team with the ball wins kind of thing is the metric that I'm kind of going with this.
That's fair. yeah, I love the Falcons here. I love the Falcons in this spot.
Yeah, no, you're the ATL lab. You have to.
ATL Lab, baby. We got to
ATL Lab. I mean,
represent.
I hope the Falcons win. I got them in my wins pool. Let's go.
Let's
Atlanta.
go. Let's
Let's
ride.
That's right.
On that, the fastest bird. Did you know the Falcon is the fastest bird, Chris? Fun
There
fact for
is
you.
a
Hashtag the more you know.
yeah, exactly.
Don't tell me that's not true because I saw it in a TikTok.
Yeah,
If it's on the internet, it must be true.
Actually, I saw it today.
you
in a
learn
TikTok.
you learn
It's like-
learn some things on TikTok. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, it was like a trivia question on just randomly asking somebody on the street.
the condor. Actually, I don't know if you're right on that one. Keep close. The condor is slow as shit. I think. I
By
could,
the way, the
not
Dodgers
as
won
fast as the
8-0.
Falcon. Yeah, I
Yeah. I told you the Mets weren't getting any runs. Today,
Yep.
Chris. So you
Roger,
could've
Roger.
just turned that.
We
You had it on. You could have turned it off.
No, I didn't.
already-
I didn't turn it on because
already let you know.
I knew I didn't have the Scotty Juju in this one. Let's go to the bet.
How much is it worth to you? Just we can talk later about game 4, but we can talk numbers on how much my Juju's worth to you.
It's not worth
I mean,
enough.
I'll take your Juju, especially. I'll take Juju. We can kind of need him in the receiver room.
Nope, we're keeping Juju.
Yeah, Keep Close is doing some research right now. Falcon could
Yeah,
go.
told
Yeah,
you.
see, Keep Close. Yeah, you fucked around and found out real quick.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, real quick.
Falcons. Yeah,
And that's not even talking about the Millennium Falcon, which
Isn't-
is even faster than that.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, that was what? How many part six?
yes.
Roger, Roger.
It's you can wait don't I don't want to do the quote disrespect. What when he
Do
said
the quote disrespect. It'll be funny.
it can travel the quadrant in four. You know the quote I'm looking for. What's the
Mhm.
Millennium
I don't-
Falcon
I don't
quote,
know.
chat?
It made the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs.
Yes, that's it. It made the
God,
less
that's
than.
incredible. Are we sure it was able to do that?
Yes.
Has that been
confirmed
te-
by
Uh-oh.
Hulu.
Oh,
Has that
don't
been
look
tested?
now.
Avs are coming back.
Don't
Have-
call
I have
it
to-
a comeback.
That was a beautiful snipe, by the way. I have the game on. It was beautiful.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah. Let's go,
You just better hope
Avs.
Georgiev don't give up anymore.
I mean, the fact that he hasn't given up like
We
four
probably need to
more.
get three. We probably need to get 3 more of this period.
By the way, you scored 3 on 13. They've scored 4 on 23. So just saying.
Yeah, no, that's
Air
thanks-
4-4. Goaltending not found.
It's a nice pass.
Oof.
McCarr set it up.
It's been a rough ride.
Thanks, Kale.
All right, let's get into
Yeah,
our
McCarr.
best bets here. Scotty, you want to run down yours? I'll run down mine. We've talked about all these games actually, so it should be quick. Actually, except for one.
Teaser legs I haven't talked about. Talked about KC, like him, and I also didn't mention with KC, like if you look at the running backs they've played so far this year, like Derrick Henry and Alvin Kamara and J.K. Dobbins and guys that were having pretty good starts of the year, they've shut down each and every one of them. So hopefully, whoever the running back is, if you can get San Francisco and start forcing them into a passing game, I think that benefits Casey as well. But talked about Denver against a minor league team this week on a short week. So Pitt, I did tease up to 7.5 guys. Do not fear. Teased up Pitt to 7.5.
You're 9-15. I fear.
Shut your mouth, right? And Washington, I teased down to -2. It's not,
I like that
They're
one.
coming off a loss. Carolina at home. Just get the dub, Washington. Just get the dub.
It's the worst team in the. Carolina's the worst team in the NFL, but outside
care
of
business.
New England.
Yeah.
Take care of business, and we just talked about Seattle, Atlanta, and how I like the over. So,
Yep.
those are my picks.
There we go.
Going
And
4-0
then
this week. I feel good this week.
I
4-0.
feel great too. Green Bay -2.5. Love this one against Houston. Everyone's on their high horse with Houston. I think Green Bay has just they're cruising on the upward trend. 2.5. It feels great. Atlanta -2.5 as well, like that one against Seattle. Buffalo is the teased teaser against the Titans, along with KC plus 7.5 against the 49ers. So that one feels really great. Like what I'm getting with the numbers on that one. And then Denver, to your point, we both talked about this one. Denver is looking like they should take care of business. Minus 2.5. So those are the best bets of the week. A couple other, actually, there was a couple, Scotty, that I messaged you that I was like really high on. Washington, Carolina over 51.5 was another one.
I assumed you were high for that one.
I was.
No, that's
I'm high on that one, and I might be.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I mean that should be a high scoring game too. Yeah.
That one it just lends itself to high scoring. I mean, from top to bottom, you have a defense in Washington that's just absolutely atrocious. Panthers have played 4 games at 57 or over and have allowed 26 or more 5 times and 34 plus in 3 straight. Like, they're just letting teams score. Andy Dalton should find a back way in to score enough points, even if in a some sort of a blowout here. Andy Dalton will put up something in garbage time at least.
Gingers always find the back door.
They always find a way.
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
Commanders are 5-1 on the over. Panthers are 5-1 on the over. This season so far, Commanders have 4 games at 53 points or higher. That was if I didn't take Denver was the one that I was like on the fence with. That I was like, I love that one, but this, if I didn't take the Denver pick. Over 51.5. I know 51.5 is a big number. I know that. But this one, it screams over.
There's one I'm surprised you haven't talked about yet.
What? Throw it out there. What do you like?
I will not learn from Sky's mistake last week. I'm taking the Giants plus 3.5 at home against the Eagles. The Eagles are not really a good team. Giants are a sneaky team. You're giving me more than a field goal, I'll take it.
Well, that line has actually ticked down.
I like it.
Yeah, I like it too. The line ticked down to 3. So you were getting the better number at 3.5. This was 3.5 like an hour and a half ago when I looked at it. I was like, this has been trending the opposite direction over the course of the week. I mean, this opened up. I want to say this was this at like 4.5, maybe 5? Maybe I'm off on that, but this has been going the opposite direction, and a lot of money has been coming in. I mean, the public, 84% of the public is on the Eagles. 67% of the money is on the Eagles.
Give me the Giants.
Yeah, and the Giants had chances last Sunday to win that game against the Bengals. Couldn't get it done. I would take. I mean, yeah, Philly's not good, so I'd probably take 3.5 if you can get it at 3.5.
I would also lean to the under in this one. Both teams missing their left tackles in this matchup. Both teams have struggled offensively so far.
I think the Giants are going to be missing their left tackle for the season. So.
Yeah.
Andrew Thomas is getting list strength surgery.
By the way, Giants 5-1 against the under, or 5-1 to the under, averaging 36.17 points. It's 28th in the NFL. 9-2 on the under at home since the start of 2023. 32nd in the NFL with 32.27 points per game. It's not. The under feels really good with both of these offensive struggling, and also too, you have the weird things happening with the Eagles. The Sirianni thing is kind of weird. He's on the hot seat. It feels like he's arguing with people in the crowd, and like something's not right offensively.
I defended Sirianni last year. I can't do it this year. His ass is probably gone by the end of the year.
Yeah. They each both have bottom 7 red zone offenses in the NFL, and each have top 6 red zone defenses. So, I mean,
and all that just makes 3.5 look even better.
Yeah. No, I like your 3.5 actually. If I had a pick, I think it was 4.5 like 2 days ago, and it just dropped because everyone loved that number. So you got a good number if you got 3.5. So just a couple other bets that we like, throwing those out there as well. But Doc, anything else? Any other numbers that stand out?
No, I mean, again, like the ones I don't think we talked about it, but like the Ravens and the Buccaneers for me, I'm taking the Ravens -3.5. Packers, obviously, we talked about that game. I do agree with the Packers line that you guys were on about. And then also, I'm also taking the Vikings, and then I'm going to go with Scotty's boys and the Chiefs. So that's my take for this week.
Chiefs being underdogs is kind of crazy.
Always juicy.
Always juicy.
I think the last time they were underdogs, Chris, was in a Super Bowl.
Oh no.
Yeah. How'd that turn out?